So let's talk about the competition, man. Local 64, man.
Local 64. That was a bad car. I was a 64 Impala, which is where we get anything going here, is everybody's favorite car. 64 Impala. You when you think of that, you always if you Google 64 Impala, you would get so many different pages off of it. But if you put 64 Impala Lowrider, it's hundreds of pages, and they relate with each other. It's everybody's fan favorite. It's a square box car, but then again, so are some of the Cadillacs out there. Um, that car came along with a tilt front end, and at that time, I was building my car. And it took me 5 years, and it was my.
What year was this around, Joe?
This is around 19. I started in 1990 building it, and my car eventually. I took the paint job right off of the old one because I wanted something now. I just went and I had a. It was candy red when it was brand new. Then I painted a shocking pink. It was cool down the boulevard at night. Got old. Pink is a distraction, puts you to sleep, it makes you nervous. So I did it in a theme of Hollywood and had all the movie star pictures. That was cool. I drove it around for a while. But when I wanted to build a Lowrider of the Year, because of some certain things that were said, I went nuts on that car and no bumpers. I had a tilt hood, suicide door, drop down door, and I did it all in the theme of Las Vegas. It took me 5 years to
Oh,
build.
that's Las Vegas.
So when I came out, Local 64 was the winner out there. And I think he may have waited 1 year to add to his car or wait to see what I was going to break out with. And then finally he showed up and I showed up the following year and we went head to head. And the part about it that people to this day don't understand, that was a bad car. I love the color of his paint job. His turntable is still the baddest turntable to me, but I looked at my car as more design to it. It's a luxury car, and I got all these modifications to it, and they were kind of tasteful. Now I got a chrome frame, but you have a lot of people that territorial people or favorites are going to be favorite for this car club, or whatever it may be, and and then you got the judges, and I'm not one of those guys that wants to burn out my car and go to all the same show year after year. Local 64 supported all the lowrider shows back then. We would go toss the grass up in the air, and wherever the wind blew, that's where we went. And I don't care if people thought, well, Lifestyle's going to come back here next year. No, we didn't. We would always save our cars and not try to burn them out. It's bad enough you have to clean them. And that was always my strategy or philosophies. But when I came out, he came out. And one thing I did not want to do is that the cars had to run. They had to move forward, backwards, and they had to turn left and right. And for me to operate a car like that with a steering wheel on the opposite side, I had to take apart my roulette table, pull that off, my slot machines. And if you take anybody's interior and you take their seats off or anything, if you remove them, you're going to see ugliness, right? All underneath the wood, how it was built, everything that those pieces cover. And I didn't want nobody downstairs at that sports arena in Los Angeles to see my car like that. So I asked and invited the judges, Alberto Lopez and the owner of Local 64, please come up and see my car. Will you please give me the respect to come and look at my car, and I'll get it to run with you. And you guys can see when I take everything off, oh, there's his brakes, there's this, there's that, and all the welding and everything that went on. And they saw, and the car moved forward, backwards, did everything that they wanted, and they all witnessed it. They said, cool, you got it. You can compete. So next thing I know, I won. And then they contested me to make me run it again. And I don't know who it was that made me do that. But when I looked at Al Lopez, I told him, you saw the car run. I'm not going to do that. He goes, just make everybody happy here, because everybody here and the club and all that, them people want to see this thing run. You got 1 hour. I go, that's impossible. 1 hour. So I had a rear end that with splines that all the wheels turned. And I took off that one and I put a non-chrome one, slid it in with no splines, so that on one side I showed wheels and they would turn. And on the other side, nothing would turn, and I would have my knockoff with disc brakes showing. So I had to take down my whole complete turntable, come in and pull out that old spline, slap in another one. I probably went over an hour or so. Finally got the car, fired it up. It went forward, went back. and then we won, and then everybody said, "You took too long. Those are rules." It's like, no. As a sportsman, you guys saw that car run the day of move-in. That should not have happened. The judges should have stopped that. Alberto shouldn't have made me do that. Something almost happened. The car almost went through the stage. It was crazy because my mechanic then that worked on the car, and we got pneumonia. They had like a ice hockey game that night, and they covered all the floors with carpet. We're all laying down doing our displays, man. A few of us had pneumonia. But, the next thing I know, I win. It was a great feeling, and then things were said. And to this day in history, it goes down as it was close. That car should have won. And it's never, with all the cars that compete today, there's never going to be that story. It was classic. I mean, George were friends and everything. In
Now
fact,
he's the owner of Loco 64?
yes.
Okay, shout out to
Supposed to be
George.
coming out again. I mean, we became pretty good friends to the point where he was helping me along with the lowrider events in judging and everything. And it was cool. It was more sportsman. But I think we know that at the end of the day, I won by so many points or whatever. People like the Vegas car. People like that car. But at the end of the day, those people that are on that side that love that car to this day, he's a winner, and they're always going to like that car. On the Vegas side, everybody's always going to say that was a car. But it's a winner too, and it's all decided by all the people that went to see both cars. So for me, it's a tie. I think it was good for all of low riding. Though I won, I don't take it like I beat you, haha, or whatever. No, it was not that. I think it was all great for low riding.